What's up, everybody? This is Temple with the new sports show. I know you guys have been waiting for the second episode, the Cave Cast. Uh, it's Super Bowl reaction. This is coming a couple days after the Chiefs inevitably won. It was a lot of talk, a lot of talk,
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot of talk all year.
a lot of talk all year. We had. I want to say, but first off, I thought the game was fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
A little too close for comfort for me.
a little too close for comfort. Before we get too far along, I'm going to introduce. I have a co-host today. As you all know, last week I did not have a co-host, and to be honest with you, he is under the weather. We don't know what's going on, but that's part of the reason why he has not been able to be here. So my co-host for today is former defensive back for Kansas State, Dorrian Roberts. Everybody,
I would say I'm a regular special guest.
yeah,
special,
he more than
or
likely
co-host.
more than likely will be a regular.
This won't be your last time seeing me, so y'all get ready.
So we wanted to go ahead and get started with the show where we give a reaction, which like I said, I was thoroughly impressed by the Chiefs and their resiliency to come out on top in the Super Bowl. There was some history that was made that night. Like I said, 20 years since the last repeat champion. There's only 8 other teams besides the Chiefs that have done it. The last ones to do it were the Patriots, and we all know that Tom Brady, 7 rings, Tom, things like that. But the best part about this was it was a team win. It wasn't just Patrick, leaning on the offense. The defense. Like I said, this was by far the best defense that Patrick has had.
Oh yeah,
and
hands down.
Chris Jones and those DBs. I mean, everybody on that defense came and played lights out against a very good San Francisco 49ers offense.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I'm gonna give Brock Purdy his due.
Hey man, I just want to. I'm not. That's the one thing I can say. Everybody's talking about game manager.
Yeah.
Everybody's agreeing with Cam Newton. To me, seeing what I saw from him when he played at Iowa State.
Yeah.
To now,
Mm-hmm.
a game manager doesn't get you here. I mean,
Nah.
he might, but for them guys, the superstars on his team, to have that confidence in him,
Yeah.
that tells you a little bit more about him than what we giving him credit for. So
I think that's the number one thing I took away from this is that for the 49ers anyway.
yeah,
The 49ers have their QB.
yeah,
Okay. And to think that they don't would be completely asinine. Yes, I think he's young. He hasn't been in that spotlight yet.
Exactly.
That's a big spotlight.
exactly.
He handled the pressure very well. I mean, he had a very good game. But you got to think about it. He's going up against a team that has been there before, experience.
Yeah.
They just got through winning last year. They've won before that. They've gone through the gauntlet, right? They've been there, right? And Brock Purdy's probably 5'11", maybe 6 foot. And you got to think about it. This guy hung in there. He threw his passes. He took his licks. And I think that was great. The problem is that, that defense and,
That's my biggest thing is, are we discrediting Kansas City's defense?
Yes.
Because that's kind of an insult to me.
it is.
Because at the same time, like, all right, yes, at crucial moments,
Yeah.
we saw him, throw the ball in the dirt. But at the same time, the Chiefs was bringing pressure all day
Man.
long. So even though if you see it's coming, and we seen the same thing with Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
You see it come. We seen the same thing with Josh Allen.
Yep.
So are these guys game managers too?
I don't think so.
And that's where we had to have that conversation, because it's like, I think we are asking too much of this guy
Too early.
too early, even though he's done. I feel like he's overexceeded a lot of expectations because they got rid of Garoppolo.
Oh yeah.
Then they turned around and got rid of Trey Lance. So
Yeah.
for you to sit up here and you're gonna put all your confidence and money on a game manager with a prestige, historic 49ers history and team, I mean, it just sounds crazy to me. I think we get caught in a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And people agree and say whatever they want to say. So.
Here's my question to you. Okay? And we're gonna get back to the Chiefs. But my question to you is this. Is Garoppolo, was Purdy better in his performance in his Super Bowl than Garoppolo was?
I feel like he was.
Okay.
I feel like we saw them actually gave him the keys to basically throw the ball down the field.
Yes.
Multiple times. You seen him sit in the pocket multiple times. You seen him take off.
Yeah.
But then I feel like we're discrediting these teams and these teams' defenses.
Yeah. I think
not just the Chiefs, but
just
teams that he played, the teams that he played before that.
Yeah.
You talk about Green Bay. You talk about Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Like, these teams have solid defenses and vets on their teams.
Exactly.
They're not just gonna. You know, I understand they have superstars, George Kittle.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, you only got one football.
That's right.
You only got one football.
Yeah,
so.
and at the end of the season, only one team wins.
Exactly.
Only one team wins, and I think that's the biggest thing that I took away from this is that your two best teams,
Yep.
played in this Super Bowl, right?
Exactly.
And it was undoubtedly for San Francisco because San Francisco did some things in both of their games when they played Green Bay and Detroit. They were behind, and they fought back to win those games, right?
Exactly.
And he was the driving force behind those wins.
Exactly.
Okay. With the Chiefs, I think it's the same thing. The Chiefs were doubted all year. They had issues on with the receiving core. The defense was never a problem.
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I hear people say that all the time. Like, man, ain't no fucking way. It's been, I don't know what game you've been watching. I was talking to a couple of my buddies last night. We in a group text and they like, Chiefs defense, they just now showing up. I said, what? I said, bro, where you been at?
Yeah.
You ain't been watching the game, man, because that's the main key and factor of why we are in a position to end up winning the Super Bowl.
What kept
this
them in
year.
games.
Exactly. And I'm like, offense been the problem all year.
Yeah.
From Mahomes, Kelsey, to the receivers. I can't even put it on Pacheco. I feel like he was probably the most consistent out of everything we had
even the offensive line.
Even the O-line.
The offensive line with the right tackle and the left tackle, Donovan Smith getting injured, being out for, a handful of games. Juwan Taylor. Struggling at the right tackle position. The most penalized offensive lineman in the league, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that the defense was constant. It was constant. It was all the time. Every game they came to play. They shut down teams. They took away teams' favorite player or their favorite options and stuff. And the thing about when you have a team that can play that kind of defense and they can come through every game, it makes it a lot easier for your offense to gradually come along. Exactly. Especially if you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Exactly.
So you can gradually come along and you can take those shots as you get better. Yes. And let's be honest, Andy Reid and that offense actually kind of changed a little bit this year.
We got a little dirtier.
Yeah.
We had to get a little bit more grimy.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing we got with Pacheco that you don't gotta rely on. You could kind of create more of a balance, and then at the same time you keep them kind of guessing, keep them on their toes.
You gotta keep them honest.
Yeah, because we again, I'm going back to the group message last night because it's so many points. Guy talking about Rashee Rice, and I'm like, I said Rashee Rice came on, and I said towards the middle of the season. I said he started coming on. He's like, he had almost 1,000 yards. I said, but he came on in the middle of the season. He wasn't that primary guy at the beginning of the season. And that's a reason why we struggled.
Yeah, because if you remember the first 4 or 5 games, Kelce was the primary receiver. And he had, 4 or 5 touchdowns in those 4 or 5 games? Because he was on a tear right there.
He was going crazy.
When he got hurt in that Vikings game is when things kind of changed a little bit. Because he did something to that ankle. I think it was maybe a high ankle sprain, but he didn't let it really be known.
Yeah.
He kind of let it, linger.
I'm trying to think when Rasheed Rice did the actual particular game that he actually came out and kind of showed his ass.
I want to say it was probably.
Was it the Patriots?
No,
I couldn't. No, it was early on. I want to say it was
They were at home is when he really. It was one of the games when he was at home, and I want to say it was either against the Chargers. I think it was the Chargers.
I think it was the Chargers.
But
I think it was.
There's a thing about it though, is that with him being in this situation, young rookie, right? So he's gonna grow as time goes on. The Chiefs' offense is gonna get better. He's gonna get way better than what he was this year. And now we come to the point where, okay, we've won our Super Bowl. We are the first back-to-back champions. And a lot of the talk that was, said by your pundits, let me tell you what I heard, right? And this is what irritates me. Like I said,
let us hear
the takeaways that I've gotten from people.
Right.
I watch all these guys. And I love Nick Wright when it comes to the Chiefs. When it comes to LeBron, I don't. So, but but he's been pretty much spot on. And let me say this: I believe he's a homer and he's a little bit biased, but I don't really mind it so much because he's a Chiefs fan, right? He's a Kansas City boy.
I don't knock it.
But the thing is, I listened to Nick Wright. Nick Wright never had a problem at all with what was happening. I mean, he was concerned, but he went and got the tattoo, never a doubt. He's a true believer in his team, right?
Right.
All right. So the problem I have is with guys like, I listened to Rob Parker the other day. And Rob Parker, if y'all don't know who this is, Rob Parker is a part of a group with Chris Broussard. It's a tandem. It's called the Odd Couple. Yeah. And so they come on and they do their show and their spiel. And Rob Parker is a true, genuine Patrick Mahomes hater. I don't give a damn what he says. He is a hating ass. That's what he is. Yeah. He was
call it out.
He was asked the day after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is this a dynasty? You know what he had to say? It's not a true dynasty because they haven't won 3 in 4 years. And I asked myself, do you know how many teams have won 3 in 4 years? It ain't that many if he's going by that compilation of, those calculations, right?
Yeah.
3 in 4 years? There's not that many. You got guys like the Pittsburgh Steelers and when they had the steel curtain and stuff like that, but there's not that many teams, right? The dynasty, even with the Patriots had 2 sets of dynasties, right? Yeah. But Rob Parker had this to say about that, and I was like, you know what? It's a never-ending battle with him. He even also said that he would take Eli Manning over Patrick Mahomes.
We go back. You can't even. And that's the thing, and that's another conversation to be had because I'm gonna get into that with the comparison because I know you're gonna bring it up. But you got guys. We're in a time where people are gonna say whatever to get views. So
exactly,
that's just something he's saying just to get some views, to get something going viral.
But it's not the first time he said this about Patrick Mahomes. I've watched him. He's an Aaron.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
He's an Aaron Rodgers dick rider. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I know I'm not supposed to say certain things, but I'm being honest. He is an Aaron Rodgers guy, and he will always pick certain guys over Mahomes because I think he has a true disdain for the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. But let's be honest. He's not the only one. There are other guys who say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes. And the fact that it's the Chiefs, right? The fact that it's the Chiefs, here's this team from the Midwest who's never really won anything. 69, only at one point was the only championship they had, right?
Yeah.
Now here it is, all these years later, and now they've got this guy who, 28 years old, has won 3 of these championships for them, and is putting them in a situation to where, old Tommy Boy's record could be in jeopardy. It could definitely be in jeopardy.
I don't see the Chiefs falling off.
Not for a while. They're so young.
They're young. At the same time, why would you? Why would you not give yourself the best chance to beat out the Patriots dynasty? That's also from the AFC conference. So, you go back and forth on that all day.
I know, and
I think some people are a little bit. They don't want to say when you're witnessing greatness.
Man.
And this is a totally different comparison to the LeBron and MJ.
Yeah.
It's totally different to me because the eye test doesn't lie.
No.
And I don't see, like, everybody keeps and look, it's a contradiction because we bring up rings with Mike and LeBron.
Yeah.
But as far as the eye test goes, we talk about Mike and LeBron. You always give that vouch to that head nod to Mike.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Mahomes out there and I'm saying, tell me what boxes Mahomes does not check that Brady does.
What happened last night in the Super Bowl, right? When it's overtime and that drive where he had to run the option play to get them the first down. Well, Tom Brady, in his heyday, could he do that?
Hell no.
So we already know there are things about Mahomes that he can do because of his athletic ability.
Exactly.
That Brady could not do. Now, I'm not saying Brady's not the GOAT.
No,
Brady is the GOAT, but as far as who the best QB is that I've seen physically gifted wise and right now at his, I don't even think he's hit his apex yet. He is him.
He just got over the hump because you're starting to see that he is studying film.
And he's not having to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in a season.
Exactly.
He's learned how to win without doing that now. And that's the thing I think a lot of people are going to be, they're at this point now where you're looking at teams like Buffalo, their window.
Yep.
San Francisco 49ers in the NFC, their window. Even the Bengals, who, Burrow hasn't played because he's been injured, but think about this.
Exactly.
Your window.
Exactly.
If this guy is still doing well, he hasn't had a major injury, except for that kneecap situation that kept him out for about 3 games. Yep. But he hasn't really had a major injury. The one he had in the Super Bowl in the playoff run last year, I mean, he fought through it and played, didn't care. He said he was going to play. This guy is a dog. And once he gets to the playoffs, I mean, when they say playoff Pat, that's playoff Pat for real. He's playoff Pat, and he gets to, it's like they say football players can't turn on a switch, from one season as far as the regular season to the playoffs. And I'm going to tell you right now, he is disproving all that right now.
I feel like it's never been a switch. I just feel like it's kind of been a more of a, we've been here before. We've heard all the critics before. We've been in this same type of situation where our record doesn't show how good we are, and that's fine. And then you take them as an underdog, and then what? You're a fool. Because I'm sitting here saying nobody goes against Brady. But for some reason, they want to go against Mahomes.
And you know what's funny about that now that you say it is because he said it. The Kansas City Chiefs are never an underdog. And you know what that tells me? That tells me in his head, he's saying, how dare you?
Yeah.
Do you not understand? I mean, are you that disrespectful to us?
Exactly.
You're that disrespectful to us?
And we're the underdogs.
And we're the underdogs, even though we are the champ. We're back.
Exactly.
Right? And you know what the funny thing is that I think Travis Kelce is his catalyst because Kelce is a fire me up guy. He gets fired up, and he's in Mahomes' ear talking that shit. Talking about, what they saying about you? You hear that? What they said the other day?
Yeah.
You hear? They picked them over us. You know what I'm saying? When Lamar's the MVP.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Now I'm not taking it from Lamar. Lamar had a great season.
Great season.
Okay, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, do you really want to piss Patrick off?
And previously to before they played the Ravens, he made the comment of he don't want to compete against Mahomes. That's a mental mind trick right then and there. Cause I'm like, at the same time, like, he's joking. You know, I'm like, I know he's joking, but at the same time,
Yeah, well, part of that's a little true.
You don't say that type of shit. Especially when you got them coming up this following week.
Yeah.
You don't say that type of shit.
No.
You supposed to be
that
guy too.
Yeah.
You
done won 2 MVPs
it's
now.
1 and 2 with y'all. Y'all the 2 talks all year.
And that's why
Every season.
Yeah, that's why I was saying when it comes down to Patrick and the disrespect that he constantly gets because people are scared to let go of their idols, right? Their heroes, right? And I get it. I'm not taking anything from Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the GOAT as far as winning is concerned and accolades and the championships that he's gotten from that, right? But we have to be real that right now, Patrick Mahomes is threatening to do something that we thought we would never see. And let me ask you this. Let's say it's 20 years, okay? And I know I'm reaching with this, but I'm just wanting to hear what your mindset is on this. Let's say he's been in the league and he comes to it's coming to the end of his time in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he gets to that point where he says, okay, I'm gonna hang him up. And at the end of that point, let's say he's got 5 championships. And in those 5 championships, that means he's had to go to about, let's say he's been to 9, 10 AFC championships. Yeah. Okay, so he's got 5 Super Bowls. Yeah. All these, let's say 8 or 9 AFC championship rings. Yeah. Right? Pro Bowler, All Pro, this and that. Does he kind of push that notch a little bit to where people say, I think this might be the best QB of all time? But see, that's where things are going to change because you know what you said about the ring situation, right?
Exactly.
The rings don't always tell you who the greatest is, right? Because if that was the case, we would be looking at Bill Russell when it comes to rings and championships and how many times they did it in a row, right?
We'd be talking about Kareem.
Exactly. But we don't do that.
But we don't because we're going off of the eye test. We're going off of the emotion and the feel of how a player does certain things on that national platform.
Yeah, when you see Michael do a move or he did something in the game, it took your breath away. You were like, did you see that? Right? It was like and even when you rewatch it, you're like, how? Patrick is the same way. He's the same way right now. When that guy does something, I remember when I first watched him play that game when they played the 49ers and were at Kansas City, and that dude got pressured. He ran this way and ran back and then ran back and then came back and then ran and then threw a dart in the back of the end zone.
Rich Gannon it.
Yeah.
Underthrows. Pitch outs. Off the ground.
You won't see those type of things from any other QB that's in the greatest conversation.
No, you won't.
I'm being honest.
You won't.
You won't see that. He is one of one.
And that's so hard for people to believe.
And they don't want to accept it.
We can bring up Tom Brady. We could bring up Tom Brady. Yeah. We could bring up his mental toughness, his mental focus. Okay. The only niche that I can say that Pat would have to live with, and I know Tom is happy that he did it, was that he beat him.
He beat him twice.
He beat him in AFC Championship
and the Super Bowl. We already know.
Don't speak on that. But then he turned around and beat him in a Super Bowl.
Yes.
For me, had a crazy defense.
Oh man.
And he made the smartest move
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he got those. This is the same team that I forgot their record from the year before that.
They
the
were.
previous
I
year.
want to say they were like 8-8. I want to say they were 8-8.
So he brought, but that's
and he brought Gronk with him.
Exactly. He got some guys to come over, but he brought those. I can never knock Tom Brady as a leader.
Yes.
As the guy that's going as a winner.
Those intangibles he had.
Because that's what he has. He got those guys together to believe.
Yeah.
And to me I feel like the Chiefs had a lot of stuff going on. Not making an excuse. We had a lot of stuff going on that Super Bowl weekend.
Oh God.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
But
that was
they came out to play. They came out to play.
They did.
They out physicaled us.
Yeah.
Their defense came out there. They came with a solid game plan. Too high. He had safety.
Yeah.
Shit.
And they didn't blitz.
In the end zone.
They just sent the forward on the front line. But it didn't help.
Right. Want to.
Yeah, and it didn't help that the Chiefs' offensive line had been completely decimated.
Yeah.
During the playoffs, after all that shit that went on with, Eric Fisher got hurt in the AFC Championship game. They had already lost a guy or two right before that in the playoffs. So it didn't help. But and that's not an excuse. It's just saying that a lot of things happened for Tom to be able to take advantage of that particular Chiefs team at that time.
It kind of reminded me of Ray Lewis when his going out too.
Yeah.
How everything kind of fell perfectly into his lap.
Yeah.
Fell perfectly into his hand where he kind of, he went out the right way. And that's just how, in a sense, that's how Tom he did, but at the same time he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back the next year.
They didn't do very well.
But Mahomes, I feel like Mahomes was right there, a pass away.
Yeah.
He was a play away from being the year again.
So here's, now that we've gotten past the point of, like I said, we've got the critics, we got the naysayers, you got, but at the end of the day, the one thing remains true, and that is the Chiefs are your Super Bowl 58 champions. In memory, a lot of people, me personally, I thought, hey, Derek Thomas, in memory of Derek Thomas, number 58.
Oh, yeah, man.
But that was a dynamic, game, especially, that last hour was fantastic. And I got to just say that the Chiefs did everything that, to make it memorable. When I found out there was like 124 million people that watched that TV, that show, that Super Bowl, that I'm like, holy, damn. Yeah. People want to see the Chiefs, and they make for good TV.
They want to see them deal with adversity
and greatness.
They want to see how
they want to see greatness. They want to see if this kid can actually do what they say. Everybody says that he can do.
All eyes is on you.
So, with that being said, we got our championship. We're looking to do a three-peat. If they were to do that,
I feel like we can. I
think they can.
Who was in the AFC that's gonna scare us?
Here's the deal, though. In order to three-peat, we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to sign Jones.
You gotta get Chris Jones back.
You gotta sign Snead.
You gotta get Snead. We have to get Snead back. We have to get both them guys.
I think we're gonna wind up losing Willie Gay. I hate to say that, but I think we're gonna lose Willie Gay. But the reason why is because I think he's gonna demand too much. I hate to lose Gay. I would really hate to lose Willie Gay. Yeah. But if they can keep Drew Tranquil and Chenal, I think that that helps, because I'm gonna tell you, Tranquil, when Bolton got hurt, he was fantastic.
I don't even know what the hell the Chargers are doing.
That was stupid. That was one of the dumbest moves
they could have.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're gonna probably lose Mike Edwards from on our back end as far as safeties go. So
Brian Cook coming back.
Cook probably will be back. I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be better than ever. And I like Cook. I like Cook. So, it's just things like that where we have to sign certain guys, and they're gonna, I think from what I'm understanding, they're gonna change some things with Patrick's contract. They're gonna try to, change the deal where maybe they can get him a signing bonus or change it to a bonus or something like that along the line so they can give themselves more cap space. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out. But if you had to have one, if you could only get one of those guys, if you could only get Snead or Jones, who do you think you have to have? I mean, that's tough. That's so tough. And I have went back.
DB guy.
I know you are.
But man, I mean, even our defense is solid, real solid. Because if you think about it, even without Chris Jones' first game of the year against the Lions, we still played a hell of a game.
And that's even with all the drops and Kadarius Toney playing Mr. Give It Away free.
Hell of a game, but Snead is on his way still. But I just gotta take Chris Jones. As much as I love Snead, I don't care how old Chris Jones is, because that's the same thing we can say about Aaron Donald. That's the same thing we can say about Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
Guys like that. Those guys.
Defensive tackles like him that can move from the edge to the inside, especially those that can move to the inside. And what he does inside is like, the only guy that I can think that's better than him is Aaron Donald. I won't even say he's better than him, because right now Chris Jones.
They're two different type of players.
So they're golden. They're worth their weight in gold. Yeah. Those DTs that can do that, they're worth their weight in gold. Man, I would hate to lose Snead, because you know how long it's been since we've had a duo at corner that can shut down your best option at wide receiver.
The closest was what?
Yeah, but even then, he wasn't even not a duo.
He was because Trent McDuffie, they don't understand it. He showed his ass. This game.
Hey, that play he made against Debo in the back of the end zone, where look.
He had three.
One of them should have been a pick.
Yeah.
One of them should have definitely been a pick.
Him down as taking one back to the crib.
I thought he would. I was like, it'd be nice to see McDuffie finally get a pick. I mean, he's got all these forced fumbles this year. Can we get? Now, I'm be honest with you. I don't know if the boy's hands are bad or if he just got bad luck.
I think it's, as a DB, it's because we play a lot of men.
Yeah. Especially the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. So when you bring in pressure, most of our concern 9 times out of 10 is just to make sure the receiver's not catching the ball.
Exactly.
So playing man to man, or anybody that really plays football or that plays defensive back, and man to man, that's not when you get your picks. That's not when you get your interception. So
you're gonna get a lot of that in zone.
I'd rather have a guy getting his hands on 4 or 5 balls,
and he does that,
than giving up 4 or 5 balls and then getting the interception.
Yeah, he does that, and that was the big knock on the Chiefs this year, because they said that the one thing the Chiefs did not do very well was turn the ball over. But I'm like, you know how many fumbles or how many batted passes we knocked down at the end, the line of scrimmage, or deflections or broken up plays.
I think we gained turnovers in the most crucial times of the game.
Oh God!
And if you look back,
we
kept ourselves in the game with special teams and defensive play.
Man, special teams! Shout out to the special teams for the Chiefs. Man, they
punt this in the Super Bowl.
Hey, them guys. Hey, Tommy Townsend, Harrison Butker, and Tube and his special teams. Yeah, those guys were fantastic as far as what they were able to do. No, we didn't have a guy run the ball back on spec, but I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of guys we don't have a lot of kickoff returns anymore, right?
No,
it's not a lot of them in the NFL right now because of the rule changes and where they're spotting the ball and stuff like that. So, but shout out to the Chiefs special teams, because they did their thing. And without that one where it hit the guy's foot for the 49ers, we pick it up, and the very next play we score a touchdown. You know what? That's not possible without them, right? So, but back to like I was saying, Snead, man, I love Snead, but I know the fact that you can, with the way Veach has drafted, especially in that secondary, he has put together a group of young secondary guys that are, I mean, they play so well together. So it's hard to find.
I don't think he's going anywhere, but it's that.
I don't think so, but man, I don't want to put it past
38 go, man. It would be crazy. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of compromise. We're gonna see this is the time of the year where we're gonna see if three-peating and winning is more important
to players
than that bag to players.
Yeah,
to leave a historic mark on the game and just being one of those teams, that one team.
That's why I love Travis Kelce.
Yeah, because
he said the money don't mean nothing, and the stats don't mean nothing no more. Exactly. I wanted to create a legacy.
Exactly.
And I mean, I can't knock him for that at all. I think that is fantastic when you hear players say that.
And I think in this generation, I wouldn't even say in this generation, but I think we're getting in a time where players are becoming more vocal and being able to make more decisions, which I love it.
Oh yeah.
But I think we're missing the vocal point of what sports is all about.
Yeah.
When you go back to Little League, to high school,
playing for the love.
Playing for the love of the game.
Yes.
You're playing for bragging rights. I don't got to put no money down. You don't got to put no money down. But at the end of the day, it's mano y mano.
Yeah.
Best man win. If I win,
yeah.
Deep down, you gonna be hurt for life.
You know,
always think about that.
It's funny you say that because I remember when I was a kid, back when I was an athlete at one time, believe it or not. But back when I was a kid and I would pick up a ball, right? And I'd go to the park, and when I was at McAdams Park, we're sitting there, it'd be nobody there, just be me out there shooting, and all of a sudden you see a couple kids come up, and you're all of a sudden trying to make a decision. Yeah. Who am I playing with? Is this guy want to play? Yeah. Let's go ahead. Pick up a game with 21 or whatever. And, you created, a camaraderie just there on the court by facing each other, right?
Yeah.
And there was no money involved, but it was about bragging rights, like you said, right?
Exactly.
So therefore, when we had these bragging rights, when you saw each other again on that court,
you got the upper hand.
Yeah.
You in this head.
Yeah, now okay, look, I done dusted you before.
Exactly.
So, and you're right. It's come down to that now, where now we have a situation where, hey, is it about legacy or is it about money for you, right?
Because at the end of the day, man, this is me. And I've never been at that spot or been in that situation to make that choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a life-changing situation either way to me.
Yeah.
I feel like notoriety or winning is gonna bring
money.
Yeah.
It's
gonna bring sponsorship. It's gonna bring, different avenues of revenue to you in the team as well. So I love when I hear players like that, because players like Kelce say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even Mahomes, I think if he had to fix his contract in some way to adjust it, to keep certain guys on the team,
I think he'll do it.
I think he'll do it.
I think he'll do it because to me, I think he wants to. He's looking. As much as he tries to downplay it, I think deep down he has that thing in him that says, "I want to be the best." So I think he kind of, deep down, he doesn't tell everybody. It's something that he knows that he wants to do. So, and you don't find players like that a lot, because a lot of players, I put it on there. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's like when I put on our X page, and I said, so do you think Odell and Hopkins are rethinking the situation of where they went this year, because they had options to go to a winner?
And they're saying only certain teams can't, and I'm not, I didn't read too much into it, so if I'm saying anything wrong, but what I'm getting from it is only D-Hop got
an offer,
pursued and offered by Tennessee for the money that he was asking for. But were you willing to negotiate to take less to win?
You go to if you want to be pursued, that's one thing, right? Yeah. If you're that guy, but let's be honest about it. If you're going to be pursued, Are you more worried about being pursued because you want to go to a winner, or are you more worried, or you want to be pursued because you want the bag?
You want the bag.
See, to me, if I'm D-Hop, I'm telling my agent, hey, look, I got the money.
Yeah.
I want to win a ring.
Exactly.
Call Kansas City.
Exactly.
I'll take the minimum.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
And Odell the same way.
Odell, same thing. But those two guys, look, Odell wound up going to the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
But I can't knock him necessarily for going to the Ravens, but let's be honest, that's not an air it out kind of offense for you.
I don't feel like it fits his system.
It doesn't.
Odell is a yak guy.
Yes, he's
yards after catch.
Yards after catch guy. You
getting the ball out quick.
Who do you want to go to if it's a yards after catch guy? You want to go to Kansas City.
Yeah, you want to go to Mahomes that's gonna get the ball out fast.
I'm just saying.
Put you in position.
Look at Rashee Rice this year.
And Odell could have. I don't know. I don't know what his thought process was. I do feel like he kind of felt for Lamar a little bit. I feel like he wanted to be on Lamar's side, which I fuck with this. I fuck with the decision that you made. I mean, you still went to a team that gave you a chance to win.
Exactly.
You didn't want to go to a team. I don't know if you felt like you was gonna get handed a trophy, but I mean, in the same situation, the same light, you went to the LA Rams and. Kind of the same situation. You went there in the middle of the season.
I'm sorry. If you go to
you resurrected your team, you resurrected your career.
Yes.
And then you kind of took a step back this year because primarily you still wasn't one of the main focuses. And he didn't really play too much.
You know what irritated me about that was I thought to myself, man, what were you thinking if you were gonna go to the AFC? You went to the Ravens? Yeah. Did you not understand that Patrick Mahomes is in the AFC?
Like,
I mean,
passive quarterback. You played with Eli, dog, and Eli gonna take risks. He's gonna throw it out there. He really gave you a lot of chances.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is gonna do the same,
and
especially when he has a guy like you out there that he knows for a fact you gonna come down with it 9 times out of the 10 times.
And that's why I asked that question. Do you think they rethought their You know they did.
Even Tyreek sitting there.
I know Tyreek.
Thinking his shit like
listen. Hey, Reek, I know you'll probably never see this, Tyreek. You're still one of my favorite Chiefs of all time. And I'm going to tell you right now, hey, when your contract is done,
you can definitely get some odds.
Come on home.
We definitely take you back.
And I know a lot of people ain't going to agree with that, but to me, Tyreek he is one of the originals that created that first Super Bowl, that one that broke the curse.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's just me talking, that's off topic. But like I said, I was kind of wondering if that was the case, if anybody had any kind of...
I feel that. I feel like either we could have landed either one of them two guys. And I feel like if you really, really, truly wanted to win, you would have hollered at your agent and told him, "Hey, man, I need to go to KC."
Well, here's my other
go to KC.
Here's my other question about that. How many guys you think this year are going to do the same exact thing? All these guys that are going to be wired out that are going to be free agents.
Guess what? We got I know we got Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is number one.
I feel like that's a guy that might.
Is he gonna want to demand top money, or is he gonna want to go get a championship?
I feel like he's one of them guys that's looking. He's coming to the end of his career. Mike Evans, ones I'm with Mike Evans, of course T. Higgins. Then you got Michael Pittman
out of Indy.
I don't know who else. I know them 3 caught my eye.
They caught mine too, because to me, T. Higgins is probably the main guy I'm looking at, but the thing about T. Higgins is he is kind of injured. I won't say a lot, but I've seen
think about it, him and Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Evans is a consistent plays.
He's gonna play. So I don't know. I just know that any one of those guys, any one of them are gonna have to think about what they want. What matters the most to them.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
With that being said, I had one more question when it comes to the Super Bowl, and then there's a question about draft picks as far as the NFL draft. We got the combine. It's gonna be coming up here pretty quick.
Man.
So
a lot of receivers in that.
I'm telling
draft
you.
Too.
But my final question about the Super Bowl, because I think it's kind of asinine, like I said, we kind of covered it a little bit. Do you fault Shanahan for taking the ball first in overtime? Do you tell yourself, because the thing that I'm hearing from him, that is because basically the defense had just come off the field, they were tired,
Yeah.
and he was trying to make sure that they got a little bit of rest, right? And the other thing is that the excuse he's using, or is it because he did not know the rules to the new overtime?
And that's crazy. That's crazy. If the players don't. Now I don't know if they're having meetings about it,
but they should have been.
And the players, I don't know if they had meetings about it, and players are just in there, kind of just staring at the walls, let it stuff go through one ear and out the other. On their phone. Not really. Yeah, we know. OT. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, why not take the ball first anyway? I feel like they made the right decision because I'm like, all right. They were running the ball. I feel like they kind of had a flow going.
But they got away from it, though.
I do think they got away from it, but I feel like they try to I feel like he tried to come back in OT and kind of go back in that same routine. But the thing, again, because we can't discredit it.
Yeah.
I feel like KC just brought pressure at times and moments where it was just too hard. And then
I think Kansas City
rely on your defense.
Kansas City had kind of figured them out.
Because you think 49ers played a crazy good game.
Oh, they did.
They gave up the MVS touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a gimme.
Yeah.
That was a blown coverage.
That was blown coverage.
And
then
they give up the last touchdown to OT.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
Tom and Jerry.
You held Mahomes again. Defenses are doing their job, but
I mean, he threw for 300 and something yards.
He did.
The problem was that they couldn't score in certain situations, or they were getting shut down in certain situations. Harrison Butker, he deserves a lot of credit for keeping them in this game, right? And it kept them close, and so did the defense. They kept them close until it was striking time, when they found an opening where they could strike and take this game away from the 49ers.
Because as much as we kept going 3 and out, the 49ers started doing the same thing. Y'all came out hot.
Yeah.
Y'all made some plays.
Yeah.
Even the Juwan Jennings, it kind of surprised me, but it is what it is. I think it was some call, a penalty or some flags thrown in that time where I'm like, it kind of converted where they got the ball. They got to, keep the drive going.
Yeah.
Keep the drive alive. But I feel like, I don't know. In that situation, I'm like, do you give Mahomes the ball first and let him go ahead and score and put the pressure on you? Or do you go out there and believe in your quarterback and believe in your run game? I feel like they were running the ball very decent in OT on that drive. I just felt like when it was time to throw the ball, and you knew they was bringing pressure.
Yeah.
You only got time, and that comes with experience. You only got time to really. Yeah. All right, he probably thinking he knows where he wants to go to.
Yeah.
Got to get it there. You got to get it there, and I'm not. And it's no knock on Purdy because I feel like he played a hell of a game. He had. I didn't even see him passing for over 225 yards.
I thought he might. I did say something about Brock. He could probably pass for about 220, and that was in the first episode. But did I think it was necessarily? I thought that was if he had a really good game against that defense. If he had a really good game, it was about 220, which he did. He had a really good game. The problem was that they couldn't convert when they needed to. The defense held stout. But my problem was
players not knowing
what the overtime rules were.
That is crazy when you hear preparation of how KC answered those questions to Betts, Armstead, and I can't even pronounce dudes.
Warner didn't know. Juszczyk didn't know.
I can't even pronounce his name, but I'm like,
to me, when I look at that, that's a coaching fail, maybe. it just you kind of wonder about that because you're like, even he said he didn't really realize. And I'm like, well, if you didn't realize that, and now your team is reflecting that.
Exactly. Shit, I play Madden all the time, so shit, I know about it. They throwing it out there. They throwing the situation out there.
Well, that was, to me, was one of the biggest questions. Hey, is this what's going to happen? Are guys really not getting this kind of information? I just think the Chiefs were more prepared all the way around, special teams, defense, and offense, for this game than the 49ers were.
You hit on it. They like I said before. I said even before playoffs even started, we talked about it.
Yeah,
we talked about it multiple times. I'm saying we're gonna get it together when it matters the most.
Yeah,
and it was some adjustments that needed to be made.
And that's where I was.
You brought up, which was a concern for you.
Yeah,
but they made adjustments. Wide receivers stepped up.
They did. Especially MVS. MVS in the playoffs. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Clutch.
He wasn't dropping anything. Making sure he's coming down with everything.
I was like, did they change his gloves?
It's like you said, it's a preparation thing. I've been there before.
Yeah.
Because you look at it, you got the Chiefs coming in as the underdogs.
Disrespect.
The Bills. Got a chance. You got them exactly where you want them.
Yeah.
They're at home.
You've been calling for it. Mahomes said we gave them what they asked for.
But you don't understand that. When you playing at your home, when you playing in your backyard, your fans are there. You got everything you can want.
Yeah. Weather
bad.
Yeah.
We in New York. We in Buffalo. Y'all forget about that key factor of that pressure. Yeah. Pressure bust pipes. All that pressure's on y'all.
Yeah.
Because they're not expecting the Chiefs to go into Buffalo and beat y'all.
Nope.
So then we go to the next week.
Yep. Same thing. We're the number one team in the league.
Number one team in the league. Number one team in the AFC.
Number one defense.
MVP. Number one defense.
Yeah.
We at home. Vets coming in. You got Vet Suggs coming out there. Ray Lewis there.
Yeah.
Everybody there to watch.
Yeah.
Y'all finally got to the AFC Championship. Y'all never been here before.
Yeah. Not a home game. Not a home game.
They
never had an AFC Championship home game.
They never that was Lamar's first AFC Championship.
That was the Baltimore Ravens' first AFC Championship home game.
But that also was Lamar's first
AFC Championship game.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. So all right. So never been here in this situation before. Pressure, bust, and that's the one thing I was telling. I got two buddies, two of my homeboys, man. One being Aaron.
Yeah.
My bet, one of my, my bro.
Yeah.
But I was telling him I'm like, it's not. Nobody does not want to see KC in the playoffs. I said, as much as y'all act like y'all do, nobody wants to, and that's where we got to focus back on that interview where Lamar said that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to compete against it. Yeah. You're as much as you trying to joke about it, it showed. It showed out on that field that you couldn't handle that pressure at the time because it's not a Ravens versus Chiefs thing now. Now in your head it's
a Lamar versus Patrick thing. And the bad part about that is when it comes down to it, you can't do what Mahomes can do.
They tried it. And it's OC, whoever the hell was calling them goddamn plays, should be fired and get out of there because ain't no way you make Lamar change who he is as a player, as a quarterback. Not saying he can't throw the ball, he can, but he's a balanced guy. You let him run, you let him use his feet. Mm-hmm. Now you open up the back end for him to let it ride. But now you putting yourself in a position where I don't really think just this year when I was listening to these dudes talking about Mahomes, he ain't got it, man. I'm telling you, he ain't got enough. I'm like, I don't think y'all really understand. I don't think y'all really been watching it these last couple years. I'm like, this dude mentally, he ain't going out without a fight.
No,
and y'all talk about Brady all the time, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but
you're right.
We talk about Brady, and I'm like, y'all don't even sit there and put Mahomes in the same breath as Brady. Like, motherfuckers are scared to bet against Brady. But then y'all turn around and tell me y'all ain't scared of bet against Mahomes. Y'all ain't scared of.
It's completely asinine to think that they would say something like that or think that way, because if you look at it, there are only a handful of quarterbacks who have even come close to what this man has done already in just his sixth season of starting.
It's 3 teams that have, I mean, 3 coaches and quarterbacks. It was Bill Belichick and Brady.
Yeah.
Of course, they, 30
games.
in postseason.
Yeah.
Then he just tied Terry Bradshaw in Pittsburgh. He's over. He passed him now.
He just passed him.
So he's at 15. And he's only 28.
Yeah. Him and Chuck Noll when they were with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The problem I have with that is when you say it and I hear it and I already know these things and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Let him keep betting against Mahomes. I wanted. They already came out with the betting favorite for next year's Super Bowl in San Francisco, and I'm like, did y'all not learn shit? You didn't learn shit. You didn't learn. He just told you we are never an underdog, and you went right back and did the same stupid. Hey, ask yourself how many of them damn casinos went bankrupt from them bets?
But and that's another thing. Everybody was riding with the Chiefs. People got rich off the Chiefs.
But the betting line was for San Francisco.
But the betting line had the Chiefs as the underdog. Why the hell you? So you basically you trying to give away money?
I think they did. I think there was
shit. You got them at halftime. It was a plus 320 odds to lose. I'm like,
and I don't even bet.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't even bet. I'm just saying, if I was a betting man, I would have put money on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Y'all don't bet against Brady, but y'all,
it's crazy.
It's crazy, and I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, because some of y'all don't know shit about football. Y'all act like y'all do. A lot of y'all don't know shit about football.
Oh, it's a lot of them though, because they'll tell you because they've been covering it for a while. And I tell people all the time, yeah, I know a lot about football because I've watched a lot of football, but at the same time, do I know as much as a guy that's played the game? Not all the intricacies, but a guy that's played the game can give you more insight than a guy that has never played at
that level. And I think the one thing, and I won't take away from anybody that hasn't been at that level to play, but I feel like guys that's played at that level or played at just being on that stage, collegiate level, or in you know, Lord willing, you make it to the big leagues.
Yeah.
I think it goes deeper. Yeah. Deeper than just the X's and O's. It goes into
heart,
feeling, mindset, emotions, the feel, rivalry.
Yeah.
Just knowing who's mentally prepared. You know, you got those guys. We've been seeing it over and over. Josh Allen couldn't get over the hump. You let Joe Burrow come over here and get to the bowl before you.
Yeah.
Lamar.
Yeah.
You let Joe Burrow come through. Now y'all gonna sit there and say y'all never had number one receiver. All of this. Y'all game plan. The way y'all executed and wanted to run your offense was through tight ends and Lamar's feet.
Exactly.
Now y'all got those guys in there. Probably got one of those Ray Lewis, Ed Reed type of defenses. Now a little bit more weaker on the defensive backside of it. Interior, the D line was got some bets on there. The D line was special. Mattabuke, you got Clowney over there.
Clowney was good this year.
You got solid guys.
But you know the thing about that is that if you have those kind of guys and you want to change your offense, where you can now go to wideouts and throw to those, you gotta have the QB that can make those throws. And the problem with Lamar, I think a lot of times, is that people want him to be like a Patrick Mahomes. And it's hard to be like a Patrick Mahomes when you can't throw like a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying just saying Lamar can't throw, because he's a damn good quarterback. And
he's a damn good quarterback.
I got him right behind Mahomes.
I think you're right.
In this moment of time, I don't see nobody.
A lot of people will say Burrow because of Burrow, but I can tell you Burrow's as good as his wide receivers. He's got more weapons at wide out.
Burrow, I think Joe Burrow's he to me, I feel like he's a little bit more. I feel like he's more confident. I feel like Lamar takes on the humble route. He takes the humble route a little bit too much. I feel like he believes, but necessarily I don't think he really believes as much as his fans do. I think people see a lot more in him than he does himself at times because
yeah, you might be right about that.
It's no way. Just think of the streak they went on from after they beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah, these dudes gonna end up losing to somebody before this playoff stint. And no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Then they ran through the Texans. But that's the thing you see. You seen Lamar when he first came out there, and I'm thinking, all right, it's just the bye week thing. But you come out in the big moments, and you facing that other guy across from you that's considered that guy.
He's
too.
that guy. Y'all talk about him. That's him.
Yeah, it's nobody. It's like even Shannon Sharp was saying, there's nobody coming close. He's one, and then it's the you can't even say it's a number 2 behind him.
The stratosphere is Mahomes.
Yeah.
Everybody else is still on Earth. And I'm being honest about that. A lot of y'all ain't gonna agree with it. You're gonna have your haters, and that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, Mahomes is here. And the rest of them guys is still trying to get in the plane to get off the fucking planet.
He's done it without anything, whatever they threw at him, whatever bullshit excuse they threw out there, whatever the critics
that
threw out
you
there.
can think of, they've thrown at him. This man has seen it all. He's done it in a short amount of time.
And even losing Tyreek.
Yeah. Even losing the best wideout in the league right now.
Y'all said Tyreek was the missing. Y'all said Tyreek was the icing on the cake. Without him, we wouldn't be shit.
With the 2 championships and won them since he left.
Then he does it with Juju. And y'all talk bad about Mr. TikTok, whatever. But he did it with him.
It's crazy.
And then he did it with a young, inexperienced receiver core. All you got is Kelsey. And it's like, and that's another thing. We gonna have to put Kelsey at the top of that tight end Mount Rushmore because we talk about Gronk, and look, it's the same argument with Brady and Mahomes.
Yep.
Now we got Kelsey and Gronk.
Yep.
Dude, he's getting the ball, and they still what's crazy is he fucking annihilated the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens defense.
You know what's funny?
And I'm like,
and that was against Hamilton, who hadn't given up a touchdown all season, right? You know what I heard today was when
Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen.
Oh yeah,
in the middle too.
I heard today where Poyer, I want to say his name, Bill's safety.
Poyer,
yeah. Poyer said today that you got Mahomes and you got to respect him and what they've done over there because it's the culture. He said, they got Travis Kelce, a Hall of Fame tight end. He don't even have routes. He don't even have routes. This is a challenger, right? Yeah. This is a guy that plays this man and he understands this man don't have no routes. And you're right. We have to start talking in that same breath as far as who the greatest tight end. And Travis Kelce to me is the greatest receiving tight end of all time.
Who can we put over him? Because if
this man just broke Jerry Rice's record.
If we looking at the eye test, Gronk or Kelce?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Kelce because
Gronk is a effort guy.
He's
a phenomenal player. He's gonna come up with. He's gonna put his body on the line.
Yeah.
He's a more physical specimen than Kelce. But I feel like when Kelce gets, because they hear it, I feel like he steps up in the moments when, because I didn't see him going for over 100 and some yards receiving against Baltimore. I'm thinking they was gonna go to somebody. I'm like, it's too good to be true.
They pissed him off though.
Time again, you see that. All right, one of the main focuses on the offense is Kelce.
Yeah,
and he comes up with touchdown after touchdown.
They pissed him off though. They pissed the Big Yeti off, and the Big Yeti came out, and that's what happened. That man came out. He was fired up, and he was ready to go. And the one thing I'll say is, do you really want a pissed off Travis Kelce? Is that what you want? I mean, it's the same thing with Patrick. They pissed both of them off. They pissed the whole team off, but especially those two guys.
To their leaders.
They're Hall of Famers.
Yeah, they're leaders.
So, I know we've gone a little long, and we usually about this time I try to do a segment called Love for the Dub, but we're not gonna do it on this show this time. This is one that went a little bit longer than what I liked. But I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it a lot. This was a good one. So we'll do another Love for the Dub on the next episode after this. But if you guys have any comments, if you have anything that you want to say about anything we said during this episode, leave a comment, ask a question if you like. Trolls, if y'all want to put anything in. I didn't get no trolls last time, which is cool. I appreciate the no trolls, but you know what they say, if you ain't got no haters, you're not doing it right. So I'm waiting.
You're gonna have to give them one time of going live one time.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the live.
Just go live with them. Then you probably get some trolls on there where you got some people actually giving in and giving their opinion on what they feel.
Well, like I said, if you got any comments, you want to leave anything. Now, mind you, we've done this just a couple days after the Super Bowl. I wanted to give it a chance to die down a little bit. You know, I got a buddy. He's going to be going up to the parade tomorrow, actually. And he's going to do some filming. And we'll probably do some sharing of any filming that he does while his time at the parade. It'll probably be on our X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I always get that confused.
Yeah, so crazy.
But we'll share some of the photos and the imaging on there and videos or whatever, you know. But if you guys have anything you want to ask, go ahead and leave them in the comments. But we appreciate anybody that comes to our page and, you know, clicks the like button and watches. And keep in mind, this is episode number 2. We are still learning this, but I got guys that are gonna know their shit. I got guys that have played the game, and hey, look, I've got my own opinions. I know other people have theirs. But let's be real. If you tune in and you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe. I guarantee you we'll have better stuff coming up. Y'all take it easy.
It's in the cave, baby.
The Cave Cast.